Hello, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Here's your Channels Television Morning News Update for February the 21st, 2020. The All Progressives Congress has filed an application asking the Supreme Court to reverse its decision disqualifying the party's candidate in the last governorship election in Bayelsa State, Mr. David Lyon. The party's legal team, headed by Messrs. Wole Olanipekun and Lateef Fagbemi, want the Apex Court to set aside what they call the wrong interpretation given to its judgment of February the 13th, 2020. The party is contending that the Supreme Court misinterpreted the November 12, 2019 judgment of the Federal High Court, Abuja, which it affirmed. No date has been fixed for the hearing of the application. Staying with legal matters, Maryam Sanda, the Abuja-based woman sentenced to death by hanging for killing her husband, has approached the Court of Appeal in Abuja with an application asking the appellate court to set aside her conviction. Sanda claims the judgment was tainted by bias and prejudice, which led to her being denied her right to fair hearing and her consequent conviction based on circumstantial evidence. In Lagos, a state high court has convicted and sentenced a former part-time lecturer, Hafiz Baruwa, to 21 years in prison for raping an 18-year-old girl who was seeking admission into a university. Mr. Baruwa was convicted on a one-count charge of rape brought against him by the state government. The victim's father, who was a friend of the convicted lecturer, had sought his help to secure admission for his daughter into the institution. On the international scene, a U.S. court has sentenced Roger Stone, a longtime ally of President Donald Trump, to 40 months in prison. Stone, a veteran Republican operative and one of the president's oldest confidants, was jailed for impeding a congressional investigation in a case that ignited a firestorm over Trump's political interference in the justice system. And in sports, Inter Milan and Arsenal recorded away wins after beating their opponents 2-0 and 1-0 respectively in the Europa League round of 32 clashes. Elsewhere, Getafe beat Ajax 2-0, while Manchester United were held to a 1-0 draw at Club Brugge. And that's the news update. Don't forget to join us later for the evening recap. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.